Morning, everybody. It is the 15th September 2021, and I apologize for not being around for the last few weeks. Those of you not in the region may have heard of a little storm we called Ida, which, considering that was my mother's name, I found personally hilarious, right up until the point where the power went out and I tried not to cook to death. It was interesting, but not uncommon on the Gulf Coast. So took off, headed up to Memphis for a week or so, and did a couple of things there, and picked up a job, and am in the process of working on planning that. Hopefully, be using some Ubiquity equipment, and we'll get with you on some step by steps when we get that job done. So, regardless of the equipment that we use, we'll try and do some videos on it just to give people an idea of how to do a residential move job. It's a situation where family is moving to a new residence. Walls are already, it's not a build, so walls are already up. How to hide cables, etc., etc. So it could be interesting, especially with this housing market. So we're definitely going to get into that moving forward. Also, we've tried to work on the sound quality of these things. I know they weren't particularly great for a myriad of reasons. So hopefully this one sounds better, but we won't give up until we get it right. With regard to the Linux builds, of course, I haven't had a lot of time the last couple of weeks to test out new things. I'm working on a couple of new builds as Windows replacements for those of you who either don't have the hardware, TPM, etc., for Windows 11, and considering Windows 10 will not be supported for as long as most of us would like. So we'll get back on that here moving forward and kind of let you know what's going on. I did install the latest version of Zorin Core yesterday, and it does have a very Windowsy look to it. I haven't really dove very deeply into the function. It does, even the core, surprisingly, does come with an open version of Office that does read all of the Office files up to the latest version of Office. So that's actually surprising for the free version. I think the pro version is $40 and comes with all kinds of interesting software. So even at that price, it's considerably less expensive than having to go out, buy new hardware, new licensing from Microsoft, etc., etc. So we may invest in that and get a copy of it, the pro version, and get a better idea out to everybody of just how good a Windows replacement it is. The thing that I found is it's not so much the Office stuff or the internet stuff, etc., etc. It's the day-to-day of the things that have become second nature in Windows. Downloading files, opening them, installing them, etc., etc. Especially for small and home businesses where you're pretty much doing that yourself. You don't have IT staff to do it for you. Not without calling an ISP or an MSP. I'm sorry, and incurring fees for that. So that's kind of what I'm kind of turning to looking at now. What are the differences on the day to day? The things that just the everyday user has gotten so used to in Windows that it's just second nature and you don't think about it anymore. How are the different quote unquote Windows replacement distributions going to handle that? Of course, there is the different management packages and all the rest of that, and they're getting better at it. They're getting better at not having to go to the command line to do updates, etc., etc., putting it out there in the GUI, letting the average user kind of be able to handle those day-to-day tasks. But there are still some things the command line either does on its own without the ability to do it in the GUI, or just work better that way. Distributions are starting to take So now that we're starting to pick things back up, get back on the groove, since we didn't get, thank goodness, much in the way of headache from Hurricane Nicholas. Of course, it is hurricane season for a couple more months yet. So hopefully the water will start to cool down and we won't be seeing any great big storms um, starting in October. But, global warming, Mother Nature, unpredictability, one never really knows what's going to happen. So we'll say our prayers and cross our fingers and move forward from there. One thing that we are looking to get back to, you may recall I did one video podcast and I hated it so much that you've seen the Jester splash ever since then. So we've decided we're going to pick that up moving forward. I will get the green screen work and all the rest of that done, and hopefully trim things down to where I'm not running people off. But this podcast thing is a never-ending journey, so we're going to keep moving forward and do the best we can and go from there. So everybody have a great Wednesday. My friends over in Texas, especially the Houston 35E Carter, hope everything's going okay with you with Hurricane Nicholas and all the rain you've been getting. Hope you get power back sooner than we did. And anybody have any questions, leave them below.